this is Ken Finnan at Capital Advantage Tutoring. It's my job to get you past the SIE exam. I can't believe I haven't done a bond quote video yet. So we got to do it. Let's get on it. Whenever you look at a bond, when they do pricing, there's basis, which is the yield stuff, which you're not going to get into. But the pricing part, it's the percentage of par. That's like the dollar bonds, term bonds. So if you see 90, and 90 as a quote, it's 90% of par. So 90% of 1,000 is $900. So if you see $100,000 worth of bond, 100M, that's nine, and you see it paid 90 for it, you paid 90% of 100 grand, which is $90,000. So it's always the percentage of par. If you see 105, it's 105% of par. But the easiest way to look at it is this: 90 is 900, 95 is 950, 101 just had a zero is 1,010, 120 at a zero is 1,200. That's kind of the way I look at it always. Okay, now let's actually do the pricing. So if I pay 95 and an eighth, that's really 95, and I do 1 divided by 8. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 8 is 0.125, 0.125, and then I hit plus 95 on the calculator. Boom. So there's my bond price, right? So that's 95 and 0.125. Now there's two ways to do this. One, just move the decimal to the right, or just multiply by 10, and you're going to get $951.25. 101 and a half, same thing. We do 1 divided by 2 because that's a half. We know that that's 0.5. Then we do the plus 101, right? So we do plus 101. There's 101.5, the radio station in New Jersey. Okay. We either multiply by 10 to make it 101.15, or just move it over. Okay. Or move it over 1015. So corporates and munis are always an eighth, a quarter, 3/8, a half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, the full, right? So it's either going to be a number like this, like 90. You might just see you might just see 95 by itself, right? You might just see 95, which is 950, or that, and you add the fraction onto it, and that's all you're doing. That's corporate side. Now, okay, so now let's jump to the Treasury side. Okay, so the Treasury side, it's a little different. So, but we're going to start with Treasury bills. So Treasury bills are what? They're short term. There's no coupon. They don't trade at a term price. You buy them at a discount. So they're quoted a little differently. So can we agree that if you pay $980 for the bond, this is not how they're quoted, I'm explaining it. If you pay $980 for this bond, can we agree that you're getting $20? You're getting 1,000 at the end because it's a zero coupon, right? So that means you're getting $20, which is 2% of the mark. That's 2%. Okay. So that's how it's going to be quoted. And if you paid $990, you're getting $10, which is 1%. So that's why it looks like a fakakta, right? So in this case, it looks like in a T-bill, it looks like the bid is higher than the offer, but it isn't, because what we're talking about is it's basically your yield. Okay. So they're going to say your yield is that. Now, in reality, you're making a little bit more than that, but we don't need to go into that yet. We'll go into it. Why not? So you buy a bond for $980. You get $20. $20 out of 1,000 is 2%. Pay $990, you make $10, which is $10 out of 1,000, which is 1%. But here's the thing: that's what you're being quoted at, but you're actually making a little bit more money than that, right? Because think about this: you didn't pay 1,000, you paid $980, so it's really going to be 20 divided by 980. And I'm going to do that right now. Get the calculator open. Do 20 divided by 980. So your actual yield is like 0.204%, 2.04%. But that's how it's quoted. So you're earning a little bit more than what it's quoted. And the same thing with if you pay $990, it's probably like 102 or something like that. So the point is, it's going to be quoted this way. This is how it's quoted. And the way to know it's a T-bill is if you see the bid looks higher than the offer. It's not really, but the way it's quoted, it definitely looks like that. So now let's jump down here. We have notes and bonds. They're going to be in 30 seconds. So if you see a decimal or a dash, it's a treasury. Remember that. That's a rule. If you see a decimal or a dash, it's a treasury, and it means it's out of 30 seconds. So what's unsaid is this. This is really 25 out of 32. And verbally, when I say 30 seconds, people sometimes think I mean the time 30 seconds. If you like this so far, please hit like, subscribe, share this shit to people. And don't forget to join my live Q&A every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Be there. So here's what we do. First, we see 102 and 25. So we're going to have the 102 there. We know that. So we're going to do 25 divided by 32. That equals 0.78, right? So we see 25 divided by 32 equals 0.78. You can't see that because of my screen, but boom, real quick. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 102 plus 102 in the calculator. That gives me 102.78, okay? Now, that also means if I do the decimal dash, it's really 1027.8. That's really the price of it. All we're doing, same thing with this. Everyone do it together. 16 divided by 32 is a half. Then you're going to add that. You're going to do plus 98. So you're going to do 98.5. And then you move the decimal over or multiply. You get $985. Okay. So that's the quoting. Not hard. The books don't do a great job. I think the books do a fine job. They just spread it out. Now, let's try something new here. So let's say a bond is trading at 90 and it's offered at 95. Just say. Now, remember something. You always remember this. 100 basis points equals $10 equals 1%. Okay. So it's 90 to 95. That's $50 difference. So that's going to be what? That's 10 times. That's $10, 5 of them. So that's going to be 500 basis points. And that's $50, right? Because that works. That's the difference. And that's going to be 5%. It all works out, right? So I hope that helps a little bit. We have more to do. I think we have more to do. Just think every time it moves a point, that's $10. So if it goes 90 and then it moves up to 91, remember that's 91% of par, which is 910. So 91 equals $910. 110 equals 1100. 120 and a quarter. Oh, great. I got to make myself do math, right? So it's going to be 120.25. So this should be 1202.5. 1202.5. That's what 120 and a quarter means. Okay. So that's all we're doing. It's again, all we're doing is trying to match it up. You have to get in your head, it's a percentage of par. And these are all term bond quotes, term bonds. Hope that helps. Everyone wash your hands and please feel free to join my live every Tuesday and Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.